Hi and welcome to this training video, Azure Container Services Basics. An Azure Container Instance is a service that enables a developer to deploy containers on a Microsoft Azure public cloud without having to provision or manage any underlying infrastructure. What are Azure Container Instances? It's a solution for any scenario that can operate in isolated containers without orchestration. Run event-driven applications quickly deploy from your container, development pipelines, and run data processing, and they build jobs really quickly. An Azure Container Instance provides container logs with a few alerts and diagrams, but it's not enough. If something happens on your hosted machine, then you cannot see the problem. Azure Kubernetes Service is a fully controlled VM that you use, and you can use remote control or a lot of tools like Kudu to connect and look and see what's going on with your application should you have any issues. Again, container instances or ACIs is used for data processing where the source of data is ingested, processed, and placed in a durable store such as blob storage. By processing the data with ACI rather than a statically provisioned virtual machine, you can achieve significant cost savings through per second billing. The Azure Container Service is more of an infrastructure as a service offering compared to the Azure Fabric Service, which is offered as a platform as a service. Docker Hub is an open source container platform. It's Linux based, so it's quite stable. ACI is designed to create containers, not run them. Just some of the features, there are many more. ACI features supports both Linux and Windows containers. The ability to launch new containers through the portal or command line. Underlying computer resources are automatically configured and scaled when you create your container instance. The ability to provide access to containers over the internet using a fully qualified domain name and public IP address. Support for standard Docker images and the use of public container registries. I encourage you guys to go out to this Microsoft website, have a look at the link, go and look at containers. There's a lot that you can do with containers. The developers love containers, they love Kubernetes, so go and explore more. Again, this is just a high-level overview to get you familiar with containers. And that being said, let's go ahead and deploy our first container. Let's do this live in the portal. So let's switch over the portal and let's get this lab done. As you can see, I've gone ahead and logged into the portal. So the first thing we want to do is, before we even create our container services, is to go ahead and create a resource group. So I'm going to select resource groups. I'm going to click create, and I'm going to go ahead and paste the name in here that I have for my resource group called Container Lab, review and create, and this is going to go away and create that resource group for us. Once that resource group is created, we can go ahead and create our container instance. I'm going to go ahead and close that notification. I'm going to come up here and dismiss it all because we don't need it, and I'm going to go ahead at the top here and type in CONT and select container instances. I'm going to go ahead and click create, and I'm going to go ahead and put that container instance in that container lab. I'm going to give it a name. I've pasted this name from Notepad. I'm going to go ahead and click next. Under networking, I'm going to leave it the same as private. I'm not too concerned about that. I'm going to go ahead and paste my name in there. I like to keep it the same so I know what's going on. And of course, you can go ahead and add ports and open ports and close ports to suit your needs. But because this is a lab, we're not too worried about that. Let's go next. I'm going to actually go ahead on my container instance here. We're going to accept the default policies. And of course, if you hover your mouse over here, this determines when the container should restart or stop. In our case, if the container should restart, should we have a failure. So I'm going to go ahead and click tags. I'm going to go ahead and click create because we're not too worried about tags for now. And I'm going to go ahead and let the validation process complete. And then we're going to go ahead and click create. This is going to go ahead and create our container instance. So this will take a minute or two, so we'll just wait for this instance to finish creating and deploying. And as you can see, it didn't take too long for our container instance to be deployed. I'm going to go ahead and close the notification bell notifications down by clicking dismiss all. And of course, we can go to our resources. And as you can see, we are in our container. We can do metrics such as CPU, memory, network bytes transmitted. So we can see a few things here. So let's go ahead and connect to our container instance. I'm going to go ahead and click on the FQDN hyperlink here. I'm going to go and open up a notepad, open up another web browser, and paste that FQDN there and press enter. And there we go. We've connected to our container instance. Welcome to Microsoft Azure Container Instance. So that's how you create and deploy a container instance. It's very quick and very easy. We can go down to the properties to get some more information about our container. It tells us our FQDN name, the container label, which ports are open, and we can do a whole lot of things from within here. So as part of my normal labs, let's go and clean up behind ourselves. Because again, while things are running, you pay for it. As you know, Azure is a pay-as-you-go platform. So let's go to resource groups. Let's select container lab. Let's highlight container lab by right mouse clicking and saying copy. And then let's go and click delete resource group. Paste that in there and click delete. So this is going to go away and delete that resource group because we want to clean up behind us. We want to make sure that we don't have any lingering services running and that we're going to get a bill for them and we're not using them. And because this is a lab, it's quite fine to do this. However, in a real production environment, be very, very careful that you don't delete a resource group, because if you do, you'll actually delete everything inside that resource group. And as you can see from the bell notification here, it's going ahead and it's deleting that resource group. So we'll just wait a few seconds for it to delete. It doesn't take too long. And as you can see, our resource group has finally deleted. Let's dismiss that. Let's close this down and let's hit the refresh button. And as you can see, our resource group has been deleted. If we go into our container instances, you'll see we don't have any instances running. So that's really good. We've cleaned up behind ourselves and we've learned how to deploy our first container instance. I'd like to thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you for taking the time to work through this lab, and thank you for watching my videos. You guys are awesome. Carry on, you awesome Azure gurus. I really appreciate everything you do, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.